So today we're going to talk about, shit, I forgot. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Chicks with Glasses. I am Angel, and I'm joined today by my girl, Jamie.
Hi.
Hi, Jamie. Today we're going to talk about it's okay not to be okay. With everything going on in the world today, we've got pandemics and protests. How do you know that you're okay? We're going to talk about tips on how to make sure that you get through everything that's going on in one piece. But first, the wine. So as you know, in each episode of Chicks with Glasses, I like to review a wine. The wine that we're talking about today is Blue Monde. Look at the color of this wine.
And it is blue.
It is actually blue. It is
Love it.
the most beautiful sparkling I've ever seen in my entire life.
I love it.
Me too.
I mean, I haven't tasted it yet, but I know I already love it.
See, that's like half the battle right there. When without even knowing how it tastes, when it's pretty, then your mind is already set like this is going to be a good experience.
This is going to be a good experience.
So what happened is in my search for really good wines, I went on. Actually, this one it kept popping up on my Facebook. Have you seen this pop up?
No,
before?
I have not.
It was stalking me on social media. Like literally every time I would scroll, I would see it. And I'm like, okay, let me click on this. And then you know that once you click on any ad on social media, then it's really going to stalk you. But I just thought it was pretty and it was interesting. So I decided to look into it. And it kept popping up and popping up. So finally I went on their website and I was like, I'm going to order this wine. So I ordered the wine about 3 weeks before we went on vacation, thinking that someone has to be here to sign for it, so it'll get here right in time. So 3 weeks passed, nothing. I emailed the company and they're like, ma'am, it's coming from Italy. So this wine actually came from Italy. I was thinking it was like, you know, an Italian wine that's gonna be like stored in LA in some wine house.
Bevmo.
You know, I was not expecting it to actually come all the way from Italy. And they told me the process that it has to go through customs, and then there's like a special customs for alcohol. So hopefully it was worth the wait.
Oh, you know, I hope so too.
You want to try?
Yes.
Okay.
Salud.
Salud.
It tastes as yummy as it looks. Oh my gosh.
I'm getting blueberries, even though when I looked on their website, there's nothing about blueberries, but I'm feeling blueberries. Maybe it's just because of the color.
Yeah, I think the color already makes you perceive that you're gonna taste something fruity. But this is like mommy Kool-Aid.
So basically this can really get you in trouble. It's so good and it's so pretty. Can you imagine having like, ooh, my next birthday party?
You can decorate your whole party around this theme.
I know. And I've seen on their Instagram, so you guys, this is called Blue Monde. It's BLUMOND. And it's by the wine label Saraceni Wines. So you can go to saracenywines.com, and I'm actually gonna post the link in the description so that you can check it out for yourself. But they have a lemon, they have a regular Prosecco, they have a sparkling, beautiful ruby red that is from a Merlot grape, and I've never had a sparkling Merlot before.
Oh, wow.
So when I ordered, I didn't know that it was coming all the way from Italy, of course. So now the next time I order, I'm gonna make sure to order a lot of bottles.
Right. How long did it take to ship?
It took almost a month and a half.
Oh, wow.
But we were right in the middle of COVID-19.
Okay.
So I'm thinking it may have gotten here a little faster if we weren't going through COVID-19. So I'm thinking about a month-ish to clear customs and to arrive at your home.
I'm just impressed with how yummy it tastes.
I know, it's so good. I told my husband I would save some for him, but
We should just get some regular Prosecco with some blue dye.
yeah, he's not a big wine drinker. He would totally never know.
He would never know.
Totally putting food coloring in some Corbel and serving it up to him. Because I don't know if I'm gonna save any of this or not. This is really good. That's
Love
good
it.
wine. So I will link it in the description. So moving on, we're going to talk about how to be okay during this time and to know that it's okay not to be okay with so much going on. So one of the things that you helped me with is understanding how important it is to just have like-minded friends. I have a very diverse array of friends, but for times like now, it's just like you kind of need someone who kind of like think like you a little.
Right.
Because with so much going on, I don't want to debate. I don't want to argue. I don't want to explain myself. I just want to have someone who listens.
Right.
Who feels like they're going through the same emotions that I'm going through.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that that's super important.
Right.
What about you?
Oh, I totally did as well. I've never, in regards to social media, I've never felt that I needed to unfollow people or take a step away from social media the way that I've had to do lately. Because at the end of the day, I always feel that everybody is entitled to their opinion, and it was funny because to me, politics necessarily don't matter, but morals do. and so when I saw that jumping out at me in a hurtful way, that's when I knew, okay, so I can take a step back from social media, or I can just take a step back from the news feeds that I feel are toxic.
Yeah.
So trying to unfollow, or what is that? There's like a something you can click on that says like unfollow for 30 days.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
I've never had to use that before, but I'm like, oh yes. Yeah.
Like, I just need a break. I need a break from you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's that I've never felt that till now. And I've actually gone to the point where I felt like I needed to seek out the like-minded people. Whereas before, again, I didn't care if you and I thought the same. I felt like diversity is what makes everything so great. But when emotions are running high everywhere from everyone, I don't think now is the time to be like, yeah, let's just throw everything in the salad bowl and see if it all mixes well.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, no.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like with social media, and we always say that, oh, I'll just take a break. And I always see people posting, I'm taking a break from social media. It's like, why are you telling us we don't care? but we all.
Bye, Felicia.
I know, right? I know.
I miss you.
I know. Because some people need a break from social media. Some people need to go for a jog and get some fresh air because their whole life is social media. But it's easier said than done sometimes logging off of social media, because I know one of the first things that I do in the morning is I check my news feed to make sure nothing crazy happened while I was sleeping, and I right away go to social media.
Right.
I don't know what answers I'm looking for there, and as much as I try to say to myself I'm not going to do that, I still do it.
Right.
So I found, like what you're saying, it's almost easier to kind of clean up your social media than it is to just log off for a while, because there's just so many opinions and so much misinformation and so many things that make you nuts. And there's so much coming from people that you really didn't want to know that they actually think the way that they think.
I know. It's like, I liked you better when I didn't know you.
Exactly.
And I feel so bad for that. I feel bad for my feelings for that person. Like you it's almost like when you find out that Superman is really Clark Kent, you're just like, oh, really? Like
I know.
So it takes it away. It takes away from how you feel about that person.
It does. And I'm with you with, like, I don't care about people's political views. I don't care about people's opinions on certain things. But when, like, morals come into play and I'm having to figure out, how did I ever like you in the first place? Or like where has this side of you been when I thought you were this other person? Then I've just found that it's a mental health check to just literally go through social media, and when you see something you don't like, to either put that person on pause, or if it's someone who's completely different from the people that you want to surround yourself with, then I just like delete them. And I've never done that as much as I'm doing it now.
Yes. In social media or on social media and in real life.
And in real life.
That is the heartbreaking thing for me, is when you're having these conversations with people you've known for years, or people that you love, or really close friends, and then you find out that their core is different from what you thought it was. And you have to have not only a hard conversation potentially with them, but you have to have a hard conversation with yourself. I had to have a hard conversation with myself, like, what have I done to attract these type of people, or why didn't I know this before, or did I know this before but did I just let it slide? And did I continue to let it slide? Did I enable this catastrophic situation in my mind? Did I enable for this to happen? And that's and for me it was disappointing. Like, for me, I was disappointed in myself that I let that into my circle, or that I allowed that to happen for so long. And it's only now in a situation like this where people are just showing their, can I say asses?
You can so say asses.
Okay, when people are showing their asses, they are showing their asses.
Yeah.
And some of them ain't pretty.
I know. And I think that you can't like blame yourself for like the people that you've surrounded yourself with, because it didn't matter. Like the little things, the little clues and hints maybe that you saw in them, that they weren't going to be your best friend for life, just being associated with them, what they did and what they thought didn't really matter. And so you kind of just let things slide until times like now, when it's just, when you're really hearing what the world has to say, you're really hearing what people have to say, you're really hearing what people around you have to say.
And you're hearing their reactions.
And you're hearing their reactions.
Or they're not reactions.
Or they're not reactions.
And it's not even because I feel bad when people don't react to things, and then you're like, well, why didn't you react? But it's not only that, but it's like it's your close friends. It's not even on social media. It's, did they reach out to you, or were there conversations that could have been had, like you guys spoke but they didn't mention anything, and that's just like it like if there was a death in your family, or if you lost your job, or something happened big, and they don't say, hey, so how are you doing now that you need a new job, or how are you doing now that so-and-so passed? It was one of those things. It was almost like just a checking in. Yeah. How are you? And that's what I didn't appreciate. That not necessarily happened with me, but happened with other people or other friends. I did have friends like check in with me, like, hey, how are you doing? How are you? Because the pandemic alone, that was intense. Yeah. And for us to be so isolated for a while, that people started coming out of their caves, but
yeah.
For
you're like, go back, just go back to where you came from.
But when you don't see your friends, or when you're used to having luncheons with friends or networking groups or what have you, and then you're just so isolated, that I think some people really. I don't know if some people will even recover. Like, some people really dove down deep. I don't know if you saw, there's more suicides going on right now, and that's intense. Yeah. And I can only imagine if there's another shutdown, like what it's going to do. I mean, in my world, I know a lot of business owners, and business owners left and right are like either losing their businesses or don't know how they're going to move forward with the new guidelines. So, I mean, I know we co-own tattoo shops, but even there, we can't have a full house anymore. Yeah. And that's just tattoos, but like look at restaurants and bars, and and we were passing by the jumpy place, the what is it called, the sky zone. Yeah, like how is that supposed to happen? Yeah. And everyone just bounced in their own square.
Yeah, I know. And then they have to disinfect after you finish.
After you're finished, yeah. And anyway, so yeah, I just know that a lot of business owners, and even if you're not a business owner, like how are we supposed to move forward? Especially for the very social people. Yeah. I know that they're probably not doing well. So
yeah,
check with your social friends.
Exactly.
They may not be okay.
Yes, I think that's really important because again, moving from like pandemic to protests, like it was a lot. And I had friends who reached out to me, during COVID-19, and they were just like, hey, are you okay? And then all the protests started happening and people went silent. And for me, I felt like I was more upset by people not reaching out to say, hey, how are you feeling? I know it's a lot going on. I was more upset by that than I was upset by people just saying randomly stupid stuff.
Right? Because ignorance is different from not caring, right? Mm-hmm. I can almost excuse ignorance because you just don't know. A lot of people just don't know. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to act. And that's just from the lack of not being around certain cultures. That's why traveling is very important. Stay tuned for another YouTube channel where we travel.
So where are we going to go? Where are we going? I'm ready.
We'll change this to a green screen. Today we're in Fiji. But that's why I think it's important to travel. It's because you get to understand and see different cultures, and you get an insight into what's acceptable or not acceptable, or how to act, or they're just common courtesies in their culture. So in America, you have multiple cultures in here, right? Even though we're all American, there's different cultures, and a lot of people don't know what to do about Black Lives Matter. A lot of people just don't know what to do about it.
It's hard trying to figure out how to approach everything right now. And I think that the people who are going to come out of this the most changed are the people who ask questions.
Right.
Like, you can't be afraid to just start by saying, hey, how are you doing? Right. And what can I do? Is there anything that I can say to make you feel better today? People open to education and people open to understanding are the people who are going to come out on the other side of this most changed.
Right.
So
I know that people reached out to you, or people reached out to me that caught us off guard, and they just wanted to have conversations about wanting to do better and wanting to see what how they could change, or how they could help. And I loved that random act of friendship or community or care that they were expressing just by saying, hey, like, I know I am a middle-aged white woman. What can I do to help my brown friends, my brown community? So I appreciate it.
Yeah, me too. I really appreciate that as well. And I think that for me, like, it's hard because with so much going on, part of you feels like, I don't feel like educating people. I don't feel like explaining this again. I don't understand why people don't understand, but when people do genuinely reach out and they say, hey, help me understand, then it kind of, you're okay. You're like, okay, I can do this. I can talk to you because this is not going to be a debate. This is not going to be an argument. You legit want to know what's going on. Right. And I can help you with that. I don't mind.
Right.
So I don't mind talking through things with people with open minds. It's just the closed-minded people that it's just like, I don't have time for this in this lifetime.
Right. And it's emotionally draining.
It is.
Right. It's almost like it's like taxed your soul. I got into like some debate online about something, and it was so bad that the person that originally made the post deleted my conversation with this woman, and the woman was very like inflammatory, like she was just attacking, And I kept saying, girl, why are you so mad? And by doing that, she got more mad. She was like, I don't like your sarcasm. And I'm like, no, why are you so mad? And then so we messaged each other, and I told her, I said, I'm not being sarcastic. Why are you upset? And then she said another mean thing to me and then blocked me. And then little did she know, I found a different way to communicate with her.
You just kept going for the jugular.
Well, no, this has a good ending. This has a very good ending. I went on to somebody else's social media and I messaged her and I said, this is Jamie again. But no, I just said, hey, and I wrote her this long thing. Mm-hmm. I said, if I said something to you, I said, I knew I may have ruined the conversation right in the beginning because she said some really mean or bad comment, and I clicked the ha-ha button. I clicked the ha-ha button, and when I clicked the ha-ha button, immediately I put her on the defensive. And so no matter what I said, she was just, and so I apologized. I said, listen, Linda, listen. I said, I apologize that I ruined the chance for us to have a constructive conversation by immediately putting you on the defensive, even though she was attack, and I was trying to diffuse. It didn't matter what I was saying. She was constantly attacking. At the end of it, she and I did a virtual hug. I was just like, I don't know you, you don't know me, but there's no need for us to be so upset. And I said, I apologize for what I did. And then she replied back with, I accept your apology. There's no need to have bad blood, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, very good. So
see, that was very big of you. I don't know that I could be that big right now.
Well, you know
I'm
what?
trying.
And that is part of what I feel we need to also be open to is being big or taking the high road or whatever, where you can, right? So for me, I could do that. But then when there's a really, really emotional thing that you're going through, it's hard for you to be big. And sometimes it's not. That's when I think you just have to take a step back. And just really do it, take a step back and let that situation kind of resolve itself, and then maybe go back to it.
I've tried, that's another part for me of cleaning up your social media is kind of deciding who's worth it though. Because I've reached out to a couple women that I've done business with in the past, that I've spoken to in the past, that I've had not a personal relationship, but just at least in passing mutual liking to each other.
Right.
And they've said crazy things on social media, and I've just said, hey, look at it this way. And one, without even responding, blocked me. So that tells me she wanted to live in her own ignorance. She liked it. She enjoyed it. And I was so shocked. I was really shocked. I never, ever would have expected that from her, ever. Wow. And then the second one, she misposted something. She posted something that she knew would incite people. She knew it was old. It was like an article from 3 years ago. It was not relevant to today at all. And I just said to her, hey, that's not happening now, and maybe you should think of things this way. And she totally goes on the attack. And then I unfriended her because I didn't unfriend her. I just unfollowed her. I'm like, whatever. And so then she came into my messages for more. So, yes. And she told me, you're playing the victim and all these things. Yes. And so I was like, okay, this can go down two ways. So I just told her, you know what, you're gross and we're not talking anymore. Don't contact me anymore. And that was it. So then I unfriended her at that point. But it's just these are two people that I thought I could be like, hey, think about things this way.
Right.
And they'd already decided that they liked their ignorance. That's what they were using to hide whatever issues they have going on in their heart. So for me now, after those two events that just happened this past week, I'm like, I'm just like, for me, for my mental health, I'm just going to disconnect from people who aren't like me, who don't have the same moral value that I have.
Right.
Not like me, but people who obviously their moral character is off.
Right.
Hopefully they'll grow on the other side of this, but for now, for me trying to decide who's the good guys and who's the bad guys, I just feel like there's so many people on my social media that I'll be surprised sometimes, like you were saying, people that reach out or people that say certain things and you're surprised, like I don't remember, I didn't know this about you.
Right.
I didn't know that you felt like me, but
Right.
because my page is full of people who don't think like me.
Right.
So if I get rid of those people, now it's more positive for me,
Right.
because it's people
There
that
might be
think
4.5
like me.
people there.
You know, it's not the quantity, it's the quality, right?
Right. Well, I cleaned up my social media.
Yep.
Looks like I got my mama, my kids, my husband.
Yeah. I think,
my dog's accounts on there.
right? I know, I have a dog account too.
I need a dog account.
I totally do. But I think that at this point, just for your own health, your own mental health, it's a good idea to at least unfollow people that you feel are causing you grief before you even get out of bed. If you check social media before
Right.
you get out of bed,
Right.
I think that's like the best thing to do.
I think also for the people that check social media right in the beginning of their day, right when they wake up, or they're even half awake and they're already like looking, the face recognition doesn't even recognize you. You have to type in the password.
Yeah.
I think that before you go on to social media, I think it might be important to already kind of set yourself up mentally. What type of day you're going to have, and what type of energy that you want to attract, and or what type of energy you want to put out into the world, right?
Yeah.
And so that you like put your like first layer of armor before you even go on to social media. And sometimes when we just open up social media, or even just the news, not even social media, because social media, they can respond to you, right? News is just like hitting you. And social media is more of a dialogue, right? If you open up the news, because we all have it on our phones, and so the first thing you see, this blew up, that blew up, this person said this, that person did this, this person died, that person, or this country had an earthquake.
Yeah.
Like all this stuff is coming at you. You need to like center yourself and mentally prepare yourself for the day. And that might also be another layer of protection and helping you with your mental state.
That's a good idea too. That's good. Just to take a pause first to set up your mental state. Do you meditate at all?
Let me take some more Blue Mon.
I've tried. Like my brain works too quickly. Like I'm always thinking. So I've tried to meditate and I really can't. Like I've tried my closet with the lights out. I've tried so many different things and my brain will just keep going.
You know how there's speed reading? I speed meditate.
Okay.
I give myself snippets, like a minute here and there, snippets to like reset. Like something will be going wrong or something will be intense. I will step away. I will just try to reset and moving forward, like how is the rest of this day gonna to go?
Yeah.
Because I've had to do that where stuff is just bad. I find I'm upset. I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone all the time. I'm on the phone or I'm emailing and I'm just irritated. I'm irritated with this person. I'm irritated with that person. And then my husband comes and the dog comes and I'm just,
Yeah.
So I have to woo-saw.
Yeah.
Just like really woo-saw through that and then figure out, okay, how am I going to handle the next, not even the whole rest of the day, just this next 30 minutes. What am I going to do to set myself back up on the path of success, of positivity? Because I feel like, and you see it on social media, like these people that are just spiraling, just nasty, just mean, just post after post of bleh. And you look at those people and you're like, okay, yeah, this person needs to reset. So yeah, I mean that I think is important for all of us to just and like when I see my husband doing it, I said, babe, are you hungry? Do you need to go exercise?
Yeah.
Like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's something like that.
Yeah.
Like, just taking a step back, doing something else other than what you're doing at that moment.
Yeah.
So that you can reset.
Yeah, I do run walk. So I used to run. Now I don't. I run walk. So I found that just starting off the day after I get off of my news feed, before I start my day, I start with the run walk. So it's usually like 1.5 to 3 miles, whatever I'm feeling that day.
Oh, okay.
And
outside or
mm-hmm.
on a treadmill?
No, outside.
Oh, okay.
Like I just do the neighborhood a few
Oh,
times,
okay.
just because I think it helps me take a mental break.
Yes.
Before I even get going. Like it just clears your mind. Like,
and that's a form of meditation. I think you're not necessarily sitting in some yoga pose with the incense and but I feel that you're uninterrupted,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah,
like
it's just you and nature.
You and nature, and your blood's flowing,
mm-hmm.
and your brain is thinking of stuff or not,
mm-hmm.
and I think it'll give you like some type of clarity for what you want to accomplish during the day, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that's a form.
Yeah.
If you want to.
That's just how I clear my head. I want to be a workout person, but I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be a gym person, but I'm not.
Right.
So I just do my run walks, and I think that's really helpful.
Right.
So yeah, so clearing social media, meditating if you can, going for a run or a walk. Another thing that I think is super important is having a girlfriend. Like, I think that I have sisters, and I can talk to my sisters about everything. There's 3 of them, but they're far away. They're all on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. So sometimes, even though I can pick up the phone and call one of my 3 sisters at any given time, it still feels lonely sometimes being here by myself. And with my husband, it's kind of like you're talking to a wall or a rock or a statue.
Yeah.
I feel like he wants to understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, but I don't know, he's not in touch with what I'm saying. So he'll give me some, oh yeah, babe. And I know, like, you're not even listening.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so funny that I would joke with him that one of my girlfriends, I could give my girlfriend one sentence, and I'll give my husband the exact same sentence. This conversation with my girlfriend will go on for 2 hours over the same sentence. With him, it'll be 5 minutes if I'm lucky. And I just feel like right now we all have so much to say, so much to think about. There's so much going through our head. And even if you're a guy, it's really good, a single guy. Don't do it if you're married, but even to have a girlfriend to talk to, because girls listen, we respond, we give feedback, we share some of the same emotions. Talking to another guy is just not helpful now.
I know. You get yes and no answers, one-liners.
Yeah.
No.
But girlfriends, like, you can bounce emotions. You're like, am I the only person feeling this way? And then you find out that you're not the only person feeling certain ways. So I think it's super healthy to have one good girlfriend, at least, that you can talk to and say, hey, this is what I'm feeling right now.
Right.
Like you and I the other night, I don't even know what time it was. I think we talked for like an hour and a half. It was like late. I think it was like until like 11:30 at night. And everything that you were saying, I'm like, that's how I feel. I didn't even know that's how I
felt. That's the same conversation I had with my friend.
Yeah. It's a really good idea right now to have that.
Right. No, I totally agree. Cheers to that.
Cheers to
I already drank
girlfriends.
all of mine already. Very good.
So I think that we've cleared some things up. We hopefully helped someone realize that they need to keep their mental health in check, and definitely speak to a professional if you need to, because we're definitely not professionals.
Oh, right. This should have a disclaimer.
Yeah.
Speak with a professional.
Yes, if you feel like you're in a, if it's overwhelming and it's just too much right now, like most of us feel. And if you don't have a good girlfriend, or you don't like to run, walk, or you don't even have social media, or it's not helping, or you can't figure out how to like separate the good guys from the bad guys, then it's totally okay to talk to a professional, especially right now. I think it's
And if you can't reach a professional, message her.
I've been getting a lot of messages lately. I don't know what's going on. I feel like people want to talk to me right now.
Message her.
Like, I hope I'm saying the right thing.
So ready to help.
guys. Thank you so much for joining. Hopefully this was helpful to you. I always like to end with a quote from a badass chick. So today's quote is, I have found that among its other benefits, giving liberates the soul of the giver. And that's by none other than Maya Angelou.
Love it.
I love it. Okay, be a giver.
Yes.
And thank you so much for hanging out, and I will see you next week on the next episode of Chics with Glasses.
Yay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming.
Mwah.